Nintendo and LEGO. It's a partnership that seems as perfect as rhubarb and custard, like strawberries and cream. Nintendo's repeatedly stated aim is to surprise and delight its consumers by putting smiles on the faces of everyone who comes across their work. LEGO's brand mission is to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow through creative play. LEGO's motto since its inception in 1932 is "Only the best is good enough," and yet when they put their proposals to Nintendo, themselves once famous for having a seal of approval, they were impressed to find themselves challenged on quality control. They are even close in having a strong family ownership, with the Christiansen family still represented on the board of LEGO nearly a century on, while the Yamauchi clan ran Nintendo for over a century until the retirement of Hiroshi in 2002. Clearly, the two companies are natural bedfellows, but how did their partnership start? What's the deal now, and where are they going in the future? The earliest reference I can find to any of the Nintendo Brains Trust talking LEGO is an interview from the late 90s with Shigeru Miyamoto. An online translation suggests that Miyamoto-san explained that Super Mario 64 started simply by having a room with LEGO-like blocks. Around this time, LEGO was still quite far from what it has become today, with licensed LEGO sets taking off with the release of the first Star Wars prequel in 1999, and then turbocharged by further LEGO sets around Harry Potter, Batman and Disney in the noughties. Even then, their path towards LEGO versions of video game franchises was a slow one, starting with the sets linked to the films of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time in 2010, and then there were Minecraft sets in 2012, because of course there were, and finally in 2016 the release of both the Angry Birds and Sonic the Hedgehog LEGO sets really cemented LEGO's association with video games. However, in 2012 there was a rather unusual video game link, as none other than former Nintendo CEO Satoru Iwata himself became a LEGO character in an early Nintendo Direct. Indeed, LEGO had by this point had a good deal more experience in developing video games and developing LEGO sets around video games, with a steady cadence of games coming from the late 90s onwards on Windows, N64, PlayStation, GameCube and more. It was LEGO City Undercover that prompted Iwata-san's plastic persona change, but this relationship came not from a meeting with the Danish head honchos, but rather with TT Fusion, developers of many LEGO titles. TT Fusion was better known previously as Traveller's Tales, and had worked closely with Japanese studios before, most notably collaborating with Sonic Team on Sonic R for the Sega Saturn. However, it was in 2011 that, according to an interview with TT Fusion executive producer Loz Doyle, Nintendo came visiting with Wii U in tow, and persuaded the team that the fledgling Nintendo console would be the perfect fit for their next title. So, by the mid-2010s, LEGO and Nintendo had a long flirtation, but it would be 2020 before the first Nintendo LEGO set was finally shipped. What took so long? The developer of the Mario LEGO set, Jonathan Bennett, confesses that he knows Nintendo and LEGO had, in his words, been dancing around each other for quite a while. It just took the stars to align for the product development parts of the companies to come into contact, and when they met, that's when the ball really started to roll. They had some initial talks and they discussed mostly values and how they looked at the world and what kind of products they're making, and they found quite a lot of similarities, as you can imagine, both on our target group and also the quality of the products and the safety of the products. We never had a partner challenge us in safety and quality, and this was the first time. Every time we shipped a Mario to them, they dropped it 6,000 times. That is Nintendo quality. That was new for us. I can just imagine Miyamoto-san sitting in his office repeatedly dropping Mario onto the floor each day. As a side note, it makes me wonder what kind of destructive testing takes place on their consoles. I remember early in the days of the Switch, when the consoles were quite hard to find, there was a brand of YouTube video dedicated to putting Switches through the absolute ringer until they were eventually destroyed. Something I always considered must be rather heartbreaking for those struggling to get a hold of an actual console. At any rate, it's clear that the creative impetus for these toys came principally from LEGO, even if Nintendo were heavily involved, and particularly in the form of 2D Mario's godfather, Takashi Tezuka. Tezuka-san explained in an interview with 4Gamer his approach. Firstly, this is a LEGO product. Expanding children's imaginations while having them build blocks was important, and it was the LEGO Group who first decided on supporting this main concept by bringing in digital technology. As such, regarding the gameplay, we did take inspiration from the video games, but the main priority was to have children feel that building the block creations was fun. Playing through the courses you create can be used as a reference for what to create next, and the ideal scenario for LEGO Super Mario is for children to have fun and feel like they want to create even more courses. Clearly this mapped on brilliantly to Nintendo's strategy to open up Nintendo properties to different audiences, and Tezuka-san commented, "Even young children who aren't very well versed in video games can now enjoy the world of Mario in this manner." Of course, LEGO has now expanded its Nintendo range quite significantly with new Animal Crossing and Legend of Zelda LEGO sets. Interviewed by the Metro newspaper, Zelda's LEGO design master, Wes Talbot, gave only the usual boilerplate response when pressed on the working relationship with Nintendo. He said, "Nintendo has been an invaluable partner throughout the creation process and were greatly involved from start to finish. They provided insights and feedback to ensure the set remains true to the spirit of the Legend of Zelda series and will resonate with fans of the franchise. The fact is, though, Nintendo often can be quite hands-off with partners whose work they respect." Patrick Otley, the LEGO concept lead for Animal Crossing, only opened up slightly more, sharing that Nintendo are as playful as we are at the LEGO group. "They really appreciate getting to play with the bricks with us and have collaborated throughout the concept design process. We have had a lot of fun together." So, what's next? I'm going to quote here from the Metro interview with Patrick Otley for reasons that will become obvious. "We enjoy a fantastic collaboration with our partners at Nintendo, and they have so many fantastic franchises within their portfolio that could offer so many varied play experiences for fans," at Otley. "I'm unfortunately not able to comment on future products, but I know many of my colleagues in the design team have a few personal favourite franchises they'd hope may be seen in LEGO brick form soon. We'll just have to wait and see." And the comment from the Metro newspaper is, "So maybe someone at LEGO will turn out to be a big Advance Wars fan, and then we'll know they're open to making sets based on absolutely everything. LEGO Advance Wars, your time is now." What a fantastic idea that is. Seriously though, it's interesting that the licensing agreement is fundamentally in the hands of LEGO and not Nintendo. Mario, Zelda and Animal Crossing evidently lend themselves to LEGOization. Splatoon is hugely popular, but perhaps its market is a little bit limited to Japan, while Kirby's round shape may prove oddly tricky for LEGO, although then again the pink puffball has never been averse to changing shapes, and I would expect LEGO Kirby to be a 50% likelihood by the end of 2028. While I'd love to see obscure franchises given the nod if only in LEGO form, I expect the company will stick to the more surefire franchises in the short term, rather than necessarily the ones with a great LEGO potential. After all, Star Fox strikes me as having enormous potential in LEGO, but currently it's very much in a state of hibernation, and I don't see LEGO looking to wake it up just yet. Although I suppose if Battle for Atlas gave Nintendo a taste for putting Star Fox into the Toys to Life arena, a Star Fox LEGO revival could certainly set the fox among the pigeons. Of course, there is scope for more obscure stuff, as the LEGO NES console proved, and the question remains as to whether the partnership will ever go back in the other direction. Could we see Nintendo characters in LEGO games on Nintendo consoles? I suspect a future LEGO Dimensions crossover game might not include Nintendo characters because the games would likely be cross-platform, an obstacle that already sank the prospect of Samus Aran in Fortnite. Still, there are other ways Nintendo could pay tribute to this partnership. Imagine LEGO Mario in Super Smash Bros., or a more full-fledged video game experience integrating LEGO in the experimental vein of Mario Kart Live Home Circuit or Pikmin Bloom. At the very least, the three current franchises that have been given a LEGO makeover seem likely to remain LEGO mainstays for some time to come. After all, they've been hugely successful so far. The BBC noted that the Mario launch was one of the biggest in the LEGO company's history so far, and their annual report suggests why. 7 in 10 parents told us they would be happier to let their child play with digital games if they also involve physical play. Clearly then, this is going to be a profitable venture for both Nintendo and for LEGO. And I can only imagine that we are in the early days only of this fantastic partnership. Are there any other Nintendo business collaborations you would be interested in seeing this channel explore? Sound off in the comments, check the video on the screen right now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and in the meantime I'll just say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again for another Nintendo Forecast.